2012. As we enter 2022, I would like to go back 10 years to the year 2012, a year which gives off nothing but pure nostalgia for me. Inspired by YouTuber Glink's video in 2007, this is my tribute to a year that means so much to me. In 2012, I became 13 years old, and was well into my time in middle school. Even after witnessing the many horrors of being in the public education system, I can say without a doubt that there had never been a time in my life in which I was so optimistic about the future. Let me paint multiple pictures for you.
Hello and welcome to my channel and just welcome.
This is my first YouTube video ever, released on October 26, 2012. At the time, I had a crappy old laptop that would constantly overheat. I didn't really know what I wanted to do on YouTube. I really just wanted to create and obtain an audience of some sorts that would love and listen to what I had to say. If I got like 10 views, I would be like stoked. I was inspired to create my first YouTube channel after seeing what I considered the greats at the time. In 2012, YouTube's popularity was reaching the far reaches of the internet. We were seeing the rise of multiple video game playing titans, and I remember just gathering around my friend's iPhone 4 after school just to get a glimpse of the latest Minecraft Hunger Games. Minecraft, which had come out a couple years prior, was experiencing its first major popularity surge, spearheaded by the likes of CNanners and the Yogscast. To accompany their channel's massive success, the Yogscast began to produce multiple Minecraft music videos that captivated my childlike wonder about the video game. Really, they were geniuses, because they parodied the likes of Katy Perry and her song Last Friday Night, which was a contemporary hit on the radio airwaves. And they did it with so many other songs, and each time it was just awesome. Not only that, but original songs were being created as well for the game, including Tobuscus's I Can Swing My Sword song. This was really comedy gold to elementary and middle schoolers alike, and to this day it may not be that good. I mean, who am I kidding? It's still golden today. Tobuscus also took a hand on adding lyrics to video game and movie trailers alike. It may not seem much now, but to us who grew up with it, it was hilarious. Other YouTubers that really caught my eye this year were that of Smosh, and their Assassin's Creed 3 song, which, let's be honest, it goes hard still. And the likes of, epic rap battles during Season 2, which many would consider would be the prime of the series. Speaking of movies, in 2012, the first Marvel's Avengers movie came out. Do any of you guys remember packing into the movie theater for this? I still remember the audible cheer whenever the shot of the original Avengers occurred. It's crazy that the Avengers cast used to be this small, and even crazier that our first glimpse of Thanos was also at the end of the movie. It's funny, really. I remember someone in the theater yelling out, "Who the hell was that?" once the post-credits scene finished. The top-grossing films of 2012 included the film Skyfall, which was accompanied by a pretty killer Adele song, and also the movie The Dark Knight Rises, which was greeted with a famous Bane meme.
"You're a big guy."
For you.
An iconic movie that also came out this year was The Hunger Games. I watched it back then and loved the movie. I rewatched it recently and well, it was alright. Here's something you must realize: although I hold a lot of nostalgia for things that came out in 2012, I must reassess what I love and realize, were some of the things even objectively good to begin with, or am I just so blinded by nostalgia goggles that I'm failing to see the critical faults some of these pieces have? When it comes to reassessing TV shows that came out during that time period, I believe a lot of it still holds up. I believe TV shows such as Adventure Time or say a regular show were at their peak. I mean, Gravity Falls came out this year, a show which I still love a large majority of. What made Gravity Falls so great at the time of its release was the building mystery that a lot of people were trying to solve. There was really like this sense of community that will never be reignited ever again once rewatching the show, because now I know how everything ends. But at the time, like wondering whether or not if Stan had a twin was subject to a lot of discussion and made the show a lot more engaging than it would have been otherwise. This building mystery, the idea that something is so odd about Gravity Falls, it just spiraled my mind into multiple theories about what's coming with the show, like what's next. No matter how many times I watched the show, although still great, it will never come close to how I was feeling the first time I was watching it. Despite this, let's continue to look at 2012 and see if a lot of these things still hold up to today. And no better way to do that than looking at the music at the time. Somebody that I used to know is one of the biggest hits of the entire 2010s decade. After re-listening to it, it's no wonder why. It is often you see a viral post on social media stating that this band dropped one hit and then disappeared, but I often see a failure of actual appreciation to the song. Its pessimistic and real undertones of a post-breakup is evident via its iconic music video that has been parodied time and time again. A song that has always been catchy, I am now seeing comments on the music video stating that the song is absolutely timeless. I remember Call Me Maybe by Carly Rae Jepsen being made fun of a lot when it first came out. And if I'm being quite honest, as a kid, I secretly liked this song. Maybe I'm coping here, but I have a theory that people secretly liked this song as well, and you know, they didn't actually hate it as much as they did. It may just be me though. Boyfriend by Justin Bieber came out this year, and, well, listen, I remember Justin Bieber hatred reaching an all-time high in the early 2010s, and honestly, I was a part of it as well. So reassessing this song 10 years later, now that all of that has died down, I can safely say that this song still sucks, and was never good, and will never be good. In 2012, When Can I See You Again released alongside the film Wreck-It Ralph. It's still pretty good, and it still really warms my heart. There's something so genuine about this movie, even despite some of the cheesy gamer jokes that have not aged too well. Definitely better than its sequel, which would release 6 years later, in which they made Ralph to be this weirdo of an obsessed character who's incredibly dumb for whatever reason. Other classics of the year included Taylor Swift's We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together, a bunch of Katy Perry hits, and Payphone by Maroon 5, that shit is awesome. And well, this thing.
It's the video to watch, and I have to admit I've watched it probably about 15 times. Don't tell anyone I said that.
Oppan Gangnam Style. No, because mindset of this dance is dress classy and dance cheesy.
Gangnam Style encapsulates the entire feeling that was 2012. Seriously, Psy essentially owned planet Earth and was king for a time period. In 2012, so many parodies of this song would come out, and although some would argue that it was incredibly excessive, I would state that every single one of them was amazing. I remember being in 8th grade during like one lunch period, and they would play music every now and then at the quad, and they played Gangnam Style, and literally the entire school, I am not exaggerating here when I say this, the entire school formed a Gangnam Style conga line that looped around the entire campus. It truly was an amazing sight. At the time, it was the biggest K-pop hit ever to be released. South Korea was so proud of Gangnam Style's cultural significance that they even created a statue of the dance. This thing is awesome. I need to visit it one day. It was the first YouTube video to ever cross 1 billion views. This was a milestone to me. I remember zooming into my iPad, anxiously awaiting Gangnam Style to achieve this epic landmark achievement. I remember there being a parody of this song featuring a caricature of the one and only Governor Mitt Romney. An absolute classic that should be submitted to the Library of Congress. Speaking of which, also this year, a presidential election occurred. With Barack Obama running for re-election, the race between the two candidates came at a boiling point in the debates. However, compared to the likes of the 2016 and 2020 presidential elections, this campaign was the last of normality. Arguably, the most controversial thing to occur during this election was Mitt Romney's 47% line, in which he stated that 47% of America would vote for Obama no matter what. This is definitely a far cry from the political controversies of today. Despite this, one of the worst things Romney has done since then has blown out candles like this. Like, what the hell are you doing, dude? In 2012, the Nintendo Wii U released to poor sales. Despite its failure, I remember being one of the few to purchase the console on launch day. I recall gathering around the Christmas tree with my brothers, playing on this thing. We had so much fun with Nintendo Land. Its Toad Tag game was so fun, and as well as its Pikmin game, its Donkey Kong Crash Course game, the minigames were astounding. The Wii U was overshadowed by other hit games that came out that year, including Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which took the series into the future. Borderlands 2 also came out that year, to which was critically acclaimed by gamers and reviewers alike, as well as the Walking Dead games. When it comes to game sales, we come back to the game Minecraft. In 2012, the title was in the top 10 highest grossing games of that year. It wouldn't be the first time this would happen to Minecraft. It would in fact happen over and over again. In fact, if you think about it, when it came to the games of 2012, they weren't really that amazing compared to other years. You can say that about the movies as well, or the songs, hell, even the monotone presidential election that took place that year. If you really think about it, 2012 was really just another year. And to me, that makes it even more special. Nostalgia is often thrown around when it comes to looking back at the past. When I think of 2012, a warm feeling overtakes me, and I'm taken back to who I was when I was 13 years old, mindlessly spending my nights playing Minecraft with my friends, or even heading to watch the new Marvel's Avengers movie with my brother. Thinking about 2012 takes me back to a time period in which I was truly inspired by everything around me. I was so inspired that I created my YouTube channel that year. I found a random piece of Pokemon fan art online, slapped it into Windows Movie Maker, and recorded the random ramblings of a 13-year-old. And by the end of that video, although I had no idea whether or not this YouTube channel would be a success, I still celebrated what I had because I was having fun doing it.
Just my first video here to just introduce myself, but yeah, I don't know what'll come, but yeah, that's it.
To many, 2012 may not seem like the best year ever, but to me, and to those who grew up around the same time, it takes me back to a period in which I truly thought it was the best of times. A period in which I was having fun. A moment in which I was looking forward to what was next. 10 years later, although so much has happened since then, that part of me is still there.
Thanks for watching. All 6 of you who watched this. See ya.